All right, let's get started. Okay, so this is the latest seminar from me, Richard, from C1M, the C1M team, based here in Bali. Been out here a few years now, and trading is what I do. So this is your first seminar you're tuning in for. Check out our YouTube page. Plenty of seminars on there, plenty of content. Yes, it's 2 in the afternoon. It's absolutely boiling here, so I'm sat here in my vest. So it's a bit warm. My dogs are by my side of me. Apologies if they bark. And there is also a villa being built next door. But anyway, let's get started. We're going to be looking at cryptocurrency, funnily enough, as well as Bitcoin and some altcoins and alerts that are coming through. So say hello in the chat, and if you're looking at any coins in particular or want me to go through any technical analysis, then feel free to ask. If you are new to trading and you're watching this, then just head in the link below to c1m.io. We have all the education for free. So everything that I'm talking about in this video, if you're not sure about it, then it's all there. That's all you really need to be looking at. Let's get started then. And what we're going to be doing to begin is heading over to TradingView. Yeah, I'll stay in the bottom until I get in the way. So what is going on in the markets? I like to do, especially when I'm streaming, I like to do my charting on TradingView. It's a bit less glitchy, and I actually execute my trades through Binance Futures, which is on another tab, so we can have a little look at that. Where we are going to start this seminar, and a seminar that I did last week, is Bitcoin, and we are pumping up nicely. Again, I won't go and recap too much, but I did talk about the support, what we should drop down to, what we went up to, and in fact we have. So now we've actually broken and pulled through this resistance line there, the descending resistance line. We have this resistance line, which you can see already with this red candle. We have some wicks that are pulling through. We've had a few green days. Not only are we getting to this resistance line here, which is there after this huge drop down, we've come up, we've come down, we've come up. It's retested here again. Didn't quite go up as much. We've now piled through, and we're coming back to this resistance. But what I also want to bring your attention to is this yellow line here, which is a 200 length exponential moving average. Exponential moving averages, or EMAs, let's call them, are the best sort of way to give you an indication of trends. So we have different length exponential moving averages. My orange one here is 12. It's good for short-term trends. The Bollinger Bands that we use, the simple moving averages, are for length of 20. There is a slight difference with simple moving averages or moving averages and exponential moving averages. And I think I said before, but I prefer the exponential moving averages because it puts more weighting onto the recent price activity. So you could say it's a bit more current. It's a bit more there. So again, a couple of the videos that I posted out, and I said, you know, we've got to be buying the dip. It's dropped. It's coming back up. It is showing some nice upwards momentum. However, time and time again, the price action is going to come to this moving average, and you could say bounce off. Not always to the moving average. I'm just going to scroll back a bit here, back when Bitcoin was way, way, way down here. But even when it breaks away from the 200 length moving average, it will always come back towards the moving average, or the moving average is going to come towards the price action, yeah, based off whatever length of moving average you're looking at. And then we will break away, and then it's going to come back. If we look a bit more on a smaller time scale, so I'll go on to 4 hours here. Again, you can see with these moving averages, when we've been going sideways or consolidating, these moving averages are going to come together, and the price action will break away from it, either coming up or down based on a variety of factors. Indicators, we like to call them. And they're just an indication of what should, could, would happen. Here on a much more, well, 4 hour window, it is showing some nice support here, because generally as quick as something will move up in a direction, it's going to bounce back in the other direction. It's come up, it's bounced back down. Here we've come up and we're just hugging this upper Bollinger Band. Remember, these Bollinger Bands are just standard deviations from this 20 length moving average. So the Bollinger Bands will peel away and then come back together again. You can see we're right on the 200 length moving average here on the 4-hour candles as well. And we are on this resistance line where it got rejected a couple of times already. So what am I feeling with Bitcoin? I think we do have a bit of a green week coming up, and we are going to be coming up back into the 40s, which we already are. I think we're going to be staying in the 40s, but I do think because of having this 200 length moving average here and this resistance, we are going to have a bit of a pullback now before that happens. And let's go a little bit closer and see what's going on. Yeah, apologies. There is a beautiful villa being built next door. So if it sounds like someone is hammering through my house, it's not mine. It's one of many endless amounts of villas being built. When we talk about charts and chart patterns, this is showing all the signs that it is just going to go plowing through. But quite often, here's a nice ascending support line here. If it looks too good to be true, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, it can usually be the case. This is kind of being allowed to go up and up and up. Obviously, on a much smaller time frame, 1 hour window here, we have the 12 over the 20, over the 50, over the 200, which is quite a bullish signal. It's a good sign of momentum. But again, that is on a smaller time period. So when I come to do my trading sessions, always good to keep an eye on Bitcoin. Only thing is now, yes, we are, and I think as I'm live right now, we are either going to go plowing up through, plowing, or because of the bigger picture moving average, previous resistance, and we've had a couple of just green days where we've been moving up and up after such a big drop, then we'll just have to keep an eye on it here. You know, we have this descending resistance line. It's always good to know if we go on to Bitcoin, or if we go on, onto the Binance futures market, then why do I like to look at Bitcoin in the short term or the big term, the big picture? You'll see why I don't do all my time on Binance futures, because when I'm using the software, it does lag a little bit, but oh well. Let's just have a little drop down of what's going on in the futures market. Well, we've got some very nice green activity. As I've already mentioned, if Bitcoin's moving up, a lot of things will follow. Binance Coin, you know, there's not really anything in the red apart from these two, GRT and GTC. Most things are having some nice growth, especially after such a big dip. These are going to bounce back very, very strong. Again, if you're watching this and you are wanting to know more, then head over to c1m.io. You're going to see some of our education there, as well as you'll be able to access our Discord channel. This is Discord. We have our alerts running through. We have quite a lot of members in here, and, you know, seminar chats, the Let's Trading channel where I'm posting certain predictions or charts that I'm looking at. But then down at the bottom, and one of our pro member features is we have, well, I do like gifts. Who does not? We have some of our trade alerts that are coming through. So let's just see what is going on. Yeah, 2 o'clock in Bali anyway has just gone. And we are looking at some of these candle patterns here. We are just fixing our server at the moment. They are just duplicating through. They're usually not. So we'll see that a lot has come through at 2 o'clock, but you'll see that they're just duplicating. The server is just being fixed as we speak. So we have some upper Bollinger Band interactions with a green red. Let's have a look at waves. Let's pull up waves. Oh, if I can even spell it, that would be good. Waves over the last 24 hours has gone up 6%. With our alerts that come through, they're dealing with different Bollinger Band interactions as well as different candle patterns. You put that alongside Bollinger Band behavior and also using some overarching indicators like moving average convergence divergence, which deals with trends as well as the exponential moving averages. And you then want to kind of be going with the direction of the market. So up until a few days ago, or a week ago, the markets have just been dropping and dropping and dropping. So if you're in and have spot holdings, it would have been a good idea to tether some of that. Always easier said than done in hindsight. If you are, let's just pull up Waves in here. Wow, that is just absolutely as slow as can be. Gonna pull up Waves on here. Here we go. And then, as I say, up until recently, you know, with the markets having that shift around, then you want to be going with the general flow of the market, aka over the last couple of days, because Bitcoin having such a strong start to the week, it's Tuesday today, we want to be longing. Or again, if you have tethered some of your holdings or your portfolio, now is the time to be buying back in. Again, don't fully commit. You want to always cover yourself because there are unpredictable things that happen within the markets. And therefore, you know, if you have your stop markets, your stop limits in, you're always covered. Let's have a look. So we've had the upper Bollinger Band interaction. We have also a nice, well, you can see here with my exponential moving averages, they're all sat on top of each other. That is a very bullish sign. So this is going to continue up. A nice long here would be good with around 15 or 20x. What I always do when looking at coins is to just see where is the closest resistance. So most actual charts are mirroring or looking very similar to the Bitcoin. Let's just have a look here. We have this similar descending resistance line, which is breaking through. Now we have a bit of a double top, which is trying to push through. And then some similar resistance at this level. We have some quite big resistance coming up here. So I do believe that we're going to be pushing up at least until around the 16,560 rough mark. Before it should then either have a little retracement or continue plowing through and following Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin at the moment, what's she doing? We are hitting this descending resistance line here, but this has all the characteristics of a wedge, a bit of a bull flag. And what it should do is continue up and plow through. But the only reason that I'm hesitant and I wouldn't go, right, let's long it, get in, is because it's coming towards that 200 moving average on day candles. And the bigger the picture you're looking at, the better. I can look at 5-minute candles, or even on TradingView, you can have second candles, which is obviously a bit intense. 1 minute is intense enough for me. But, you know, on day candles, I hate to state the obvious, you're looking over days. Since yesterday and since this run up, you can see that we are struggling to get through this 200-day moving average. And because we've had a bit of a run up, we should, I think, retrace back, I think, to around 38,500. I'm predicting that we should have a bit of a pullback here, down to about here. Before then, if it is going to continue up, really moving in this sort of momentum, and you know, up to around the 45 region, I do believe. Initially, we then should continue up again after a small little retracement. You can see if you're going with the momentum, it's always going to be moving in that direction, but we're always going to have these pullbacks and pullbacks before we then continue on. So Waves is one to keep an eye on. Apologies about my dog just kind of barking at nothing. Baz is okay, which she likes to do. If Bitcoin continues up, then Waves is going to do the same. But But at least for the very now, good England, we already have this high that it's come to. These wicks are an indication that the price has been pushed up to that level, but within this time period, the sellers or people opening shorts have pushed that price back down. Bit of room to go before this bigger resistance up here at around 16.5. And again, just as I showed on Bitcoin with this descending support line here, what was once resistance, more times than not, when the resistance is broken through and it will continue through, it will then act as support, whether that is a horizontal support line or a descending support line. The lines are all relevant as you look back. You know, if you're looking back on hour or 4 hour candles or whatever, the more you look back, the better, and the bigger time period you look at, the better. If you're looking at bigger time periods, like on the 1 hour candles here, you want to be going off the closing and opening prices, in my opinion, because there is a lot of movement, especially on these bigger time periods. With the 1 hour candles, I hate to state the obvious, there's 4 15-minute candles. With the psychological aspect of futures and 15 minutes, generally the first 15 minutes will be pushed in one direction. The remainder of the 1 hour candle is going to be pushed in the other. So there are the psychological aspects to be aware of, because, you know, for little minions, little traders like us, like you watching this, you know, we're just opening smaller positions. I still like to open positions $100 to $500 using 10 to 15 leverage. Obviously, there are trillions of dollars behind the scenes. So the more us smaller traders get going in one direction, the more the bigger whales, the bigger traders can then go right, market sell or market buy, long, short, in the other direction, swallow up our orders. As it's all relative, you need to have people having longs to then take it off the people having shorts. So I will be doing a video on the kind of psychological and psychological aspects of futures and what I'm seeing with the market. But it's always good to see, when you're looking at Binance, what kind of time you're looking at. And I don't mean like right now it's 25 past 2 in the afternoon, but if I like looking at 4 hour candles, and as I was just saying with these trend lines here, you want to be going off the closing and opening prices, because these wicks can be can be allowed with the manipulation aspect. If you're going off the closing and opening prices, takes into account that full hour or 4 hours. 4 hours I always like to look at, and if I'm looking at 4 hours now, I know I have an hour and a half left of this candle, this specific candle. Let's go back onto Bitcoin and let's look at 4 hour candles, especially with Bitcoin, especially with the big moves that we're having at the moment. Now, this has all the signs. It's a green candle, but there's still an hour and a half left. Still a lot of time to be had. And especially because the first chunk of the 4 hours is gone, you will generally find the last 30 minutes or the last hour of the bigger picture, or if you're looking at day candles, the last few hours of that day is where a lot of the price action is going to happen, because it's the big shift in momentum with this futures market that you have to get used to, with the dog eat dog nature of it. You know, people want to be opening longs whenever people are opening shorts. So you really are trading money for money against other people. And when you then multiply that with a lot of money, that's just what you need to take into account. So I'm looking on the 1 hour candles now, and this is looking beautiful. This is looking so nice for it to continue piling through. But again, my predictions and what I will share in the community in a moment actually is, I feel this is going to get rejected from the 200 length moving average, which I've just talked about. It's going to come back down. So if you are watching this and you're in on the futures market or things like waves will have a little bit of a run up, and then I think it's going to come back down as well. So some nice short-term scalp movements, but it depends on your strategy and what trades you're doing. Again, this is all things that we talk about in our course, in our seminars, in our one-to-ones that I do. It's each to their own. It's your strategy. It's how much time you're wanting to spend on the screen. And Are you wanting just to use higher leverage and do quicker trades, lower leverage, lower risk and longer trades? Are you just into spot trading where you're buying the dip and letting it go up? There are a lot of moving factors. So again, if you are unsure and you're new to this and you're thinking, you know, my strategy is not quite right, I'm not too sure what I'm doing with this, then let me just pull up a template actually of one of our educational materials here. Yep. So you can see on here one of the materials that we have for our students. We have a futures calculator, we have a spot calculator, we have a variety of calculators. This is to help you with the trading that you're doing. And we're very big on the plan, depending on what you're wanting to put in. Right, I want to put in $500. I want to make $3,000. My success rate is not that good at the moment. This is where you can log your trades that you're doing in the success rate. My success rate is not that good. I'm not talking about me personally. I'm just saying hypothetically, if you're going right, you know, it generally is doing the opposite of what I'm thinking. With futures trading, you've got a 50-50 chance anyway. So apply a bit of knowledge and a bit of experience, and that's just going to improve it tremendously. And you can see with the leverage, with your strategy, what you're wanting to go for off your success rate. You know, if I'm 75, 76, 75%, 3 out of 4 trades, 1 trade a day, turning $500 into $3,000 in a month. That's then reflected on the right hand side here. You then put in the relevant things, the price of what you're looking at, and it gives you all the information. Again, this is covered in our education and on our website for you. Let's have a little look, see what is going on in the markets. As I say, Bitcoin's going to be rejected here. I think it's looking a bit too good to be true. We've come up to the 200 length moving average. Not only do we have, it's quite literally coming to a point which you can see here, and it's going to go up or down, people. That's all it does. These go up, they go down. We have an ascending support line. We have an ascending resistance line. We have this wedge forming because it's been going up, because of the 200 length moving average, everything that I've talked about, this is coming down. So therefore, I would do some shorter scalping trades, you know, this waves trade here or alert that has come in would help me think, right, because Bitcoin is going to be coming down, because we have a double top happening, you could even say a triple top. It's not identical, but like Bitcoin moving up and moving up, we now have this clear resistance line here. So here's my prediction to you. If you're watching this, short waves. We've got a good few percent to move. What you want to be doing is, you know, with 10 or 15x, you go into a, later on in the week, I will actually be doing a live trading session. You know, and we can do some trades together. But if I enter at this position here, say I'm going to enter at 15,960. 15,960. I'm going to short. Uh, 15,960. Okay, that's 12x here. That's a nice low leverage, gives me a nice wiggle room. That means I need a 1.67 move for my stop, which is quite good. One of my most important things to look at is how much wiggle room I have. If I go here, 1.6, that means that my stop is up here. You could even use 10x, try and get in a bit higher. I want my stop to be above this wick and this wick. These are big price actions of the price being tried to be pushed up, been rejected and been pushed down. So if my stop is up here, I know that if I've got it wrong, or if the market indeed carries on up, then that's fine. My stop is nice and high, and I've allowed that wiggle room. Don't use too much leverage. If you are in the position where you're first starting out and you are using, you you know, 50x. That's great. I'm going to make money quick, but I'm going to lose money quick. If I'm here on waves, that is a 0.4% move. Let me just go on to 5-minute candles. I mean, that is happening not every minute, but every few minutes, this is going to be moving quite an amount. 0.4. Yeah, I mean, even in this 5-minute candle that we're looking at here, it's already moved that. So if you are new to trading, if you're new on futures and you're finding, right, I'm just getting stopped out too much. If you're trading off the alerts, you're finding you're getting the direction correct, but again, you're getting stopped out a bit too quick. Lower your leverage. On a very rare occasion, I use more, but generally it's 10 to 15x I'm using. Going with this sort of strategy, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You want to be resisting FOMO. Coulda, woulda, shoulda made more out of that trade. Get in and out. Secure the profit and enjoy it, you know, and then move on to the next trade. Don't try and jump in on consecutive trades to milk it. Just whatever your plan is, you want to work it out and make it work for you. You know, when you then start going, right, let's make this some fruity numbers, then it's you're you know, 1,000 into 5,000 with this sort of success. Let me do that into 2 out of 3 trades. Still just 1 trade a day if I'm using 1,000. You know, if you don't have that, or if you're not wanting to use that much, which is fine, $500, 2 trades a day, providing that the first 2 are successful. Let's see what's going on. Bitcoin is coming down. Again, if you're just logging on, I can see we've got a few more users coming live. If you have any questions or coins you're looking at or TA you'd like me to do, bang it in the comments below. In the description, we have the links to our website, all that you need. I'm going to be doing these more and more each week. Also, daily videos coming out onto YouTube as well. So make sure you subscribe, comment, like, thumbs up, and get in touch. Let us know content that you want to be seeing. I live in Bali. I generally do jiu-jitsu in the morning, most mornings. I trade before that, after I've taken my dogs to the beach. I come back and do a bit of trading in this in the afternoon. I've got a one-on-one in an hour and a half. And then I've got football tonight. I mean football, people. The one where you kick the ball with a foot, not soccer. I've got the Euros on at the moment, so we're all in football mood over here. But you know, we're in June. Got a big, it's early days with crypto. We've had a huge retracement. Now is the time to be getting back in. And yeah, for those of you just joining, I've just been talking about Bitcoin, which is what I love to do. It's my first of many seminars coming up. I'm trying it on different software, so hopefully it's running better for you. And, you know, I've talked through our community that we have here. Please come and join it through c1m.io. Come and join our growing community. We have our alerts running through and much, much more. For those of you who are in the community and watching this, I'll be sure to post out an update on my prediction that Bitcoin is going to come retracing down from here before I think we're really going to continue up into the 40s. Doesn't always plow through the 200 length moving average. Can take a couple of times, especially if we've had a few days of just some positive action. So we will see with that. With waves, with Bitcoin coming down, I think waves would have looked to have been a nice short. Had definitely foreseeing some resistance here, and to make a bit of a bear flag, as you can see here, we have topped. It will always pull back a bit before really plowing through. So yeah, plenty to watch out for. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. We've got some nice green days coming up ahead, that is for sure. My name's Richard, part of C1M, and let me just stop that for now. If you're only just tuning in and you've missed most of the video, I'll be reposting it again later on. And again, all the technical analysis side of things and indicators that I mentioned are all on our website. They're videos done by me, my brother, or some of our team members to give you all the information that you need, people. So what are you waiting for? C1M.io, and I will see you there. Thank you very much.